Welcome to So Very Easy. My name is Laura, and today I would like to quilt my raining rainbow little baby quilt. This was a quilt that I made last week, and I really do want to get it done because I have a great idea. I do want to do raindrops and maybe a few flowers along the way. Now you could do this pattern free motion, but I am going to use some quilting rulers. And I'm going to just do raindrops and flowers starting from the top and go all the way down. And the raindrops are going to be made with templates that are originally designed for flowers. So the quilt is ready to go. It is a flannel quilt. I have a flannel top and bottom, and I'm going to be using Hobbs Premium Batting 80/20. Let me show you how this is all going to go together. So here's my little raining rainbow. I do have those raindrops. So I do want to just do raindrops coming down, and then in the area where the cloud is, I'm going to do a couple of flowers. And I might put a flower here and there. I did mark 2 and 2.5 inches along the top, and the same for the bottom. So those lines are going to match up. And I have a great ruler that I do like to use. I did pick this up in the hardware store. It's 2.5 inches and it's 48 inches long, so it is a good size to work with. And to mark, I am going to use a fading marker, and that way I don't have to worry about the marks after. And the templates are designed for flowers. I do have 3 of these templates, and they are from Silly Moon. You can see where it has that sort of raindrop, teardrop look. Now this is designed so that you are going to go all the way around and make a flower, but I'm going to use it as raindrops. I have a 1 inch, which means the quilting is a 1 inch. This is 1.5 inches, but when I go inside, it does equal 1 inch. So I have the 1 inch. I have the number 2, so that is 2.5 inches, which means it'll be 2 inches inside. And then I have a number 3. So we're looking at 3 inches in between. I'm going to draw a line straight down. And then following that line, I'm going to quilt this little raindrop, come back to my line, move down, and do another raindrop, go back down, and I'm going to continue that. And what I'm going to do is do a row of large, a row of small, a row of medium, a row of small, and then large again. So at the top of the quilt, I have used some pins. Now these pins have numbers. So this line, number 1 will be a small, number 2 will be the medium, number 3 will be the large one. So I'm going to quilt following a line, and it's going to line up in the center. So I'm going to continue to do those, and then when I get an area inside of my quilt, I'm going to use the template as it's designed for and just rotate that and make that flower. And then when I get to that bottom one, I'm going to be able to just continue and follow that down. So I'm going to have small, medium, and large throughout the quilt with a couple of flowers. But the first one, I will not need to draw a line. I'm going to go down the center of this side. Now I am going to be sitting down at my Q20, but you can do this on any machine. We just need to make sure that we have the right foot on if we are using the templates. If you're doing this free motion, you're going to be able to just go down and do all different size random drops. It would be a lot of fun. My template does have a center line, so I'm going to take advantage of that, and I'm going to line it up. So half of that raindrop will have a double line of stitching. Now if you don't like that, you could do half that raindrop, move it, do half the raindrop, continue to move it, and then when you come back, you're going to do the other side. So I have that pin right in the center to identify that I am using this drop number 3. It's just a way of keeping me organized. So I've made that one raindrop. Now I'm going to go back. I've hit that center line. Just going to move it down and do my next raindrop. Go back, find my center, and move it. So I'm going to do that one row, and I'm not worried if I have to cut off the raindrop when I get near the end. Some of the raindrops are going to be cut off at the bottom, and some I'm going to cut up off at the top. I do want them sort of random. So there's my first row of the number 3 raindrops. My next row, I'm going to have it right here, and I'm going to use the small, the number 1. So I will draw that line to give me some guidance. I'm going to do the same thing. And the fun part about this is if you do not stay on that straight line, that's fine. So I've come to an area that I would like to do a little flower. I did stop at the end of that raindrop, but to do a flower, I will need to rotate that template so that I can do my petals going around. I'm also not going to stitch over top of this last raindrop, and so it will look like the flower is underneath that raindrop. The last petal I'm going to quilt is the one here where I'm going to be able to continue that raindrop. So I have that one petal done. It does have some marks on the ruler for me. And here's a little area where I have a teardrop. So I'm going to go to that teardrop and then back. And rotate. So I've gone all the way around, leaving this one for the last. I did line it up, and now I can just continue those raindrops. So here's that little flower. I have the raindrops coming to it and the raindrops coming off, and I did not stitch through those raindrops. My third row is done. So let me get some of my raindrops done, and then I'll show you what it is looking like. So for the cloud, I wanted a big flower here and a big flower there. And I did want the full flowers. So what I did is I stitched the larger one, the number 3, starting, I did my flower, I went down. I skipped these smaller lines, went right to that number 3, did one petal, my flower, and stitched down. Then to do the smaller ones, I was able to start here. So this is my flower. I started here and stitched up. Then I was able just to move my template, started here at the end of that flower, and I went down. So I did that for the 2s and the 1s. And that way I didn't have to stitch around my flower, and the flower stayed full. Let me show you the back. I think it might be easier to see. So here's the larger flower, and this would have been the row that would have gone through. So I started here and went down. So that means when I came up here, I started here and went up. It really is a pretty design. I have my sunflowers and my raindrops to go with my happy cloud and my raining raindrops. And if you're wondering where those yellow lines are from, I ran out of my blue fading marker, so I had to use chalk. When I wash this, that'll all go away. This is a flannel quilt, so when it's bound and washed, it is going to be nice and soft. The quilting templates were supposed to make flowers, but in my case, they made raining flowers. It's just another way of using your flower templates. And if you're interested, when this is all done, this is going to be for sale on my website. I'll put some links in the description to the things that I used. And as always, thank you for joining me today on Sew Very Easy. Feel free to subscribe. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I have a newsletter. It's all free under Sew Very Easy. And be sure to make every day a Sewtacular day. Bye for now.